In 1996, the Pew Charitable Trust gave us a lot of money at that time. It was $3.5 million. And Edwin Hernandez, who's actually a dentist and a sociologist, he was hired by Pew to do a study, because at first HTI was really an umbrella of the Fund for Theological Exploration. I mean, Fund for Theological Education. Now it's Fund for Theological Exploration. And they stopped the program there. They did this whole survey, national survey, and then he did a study, and then he put together this wonderful, he wrote with other scholars and also even educational leaders, Latino education, outside of theological education, like Sarita Brown, who now leads Excellence in Education in Washington, D.C. And they did this amazing program that really was mentoring with fellowships and networking. So I've been with HTI now 18 years, and and I met you like in those first couple of years. 18 years, and that funding went away in 2007, right before one of the recessions in the United States happened, and also right before theological religious education really needed to take another look at themselves. And fortunately, we're able to bring together, at that time, 17 schools to begin to do a consortium model and collaborate. It was a very risky undertaking. We didn't know what was going to happen to the program, but with a lot of work and intentionality and willingness to be flexible, the HTI now has 24 member schools. We started serving under the consortium model only 3 PhD students. Is now up to 44 PhD students. We've been able to graduate 97% of the scholars that we have supported, and I would say 43% are tenured, 29% are in the tenure track process, and those that are not serving as faculty are serving in one capacity or other in the church or nonprofit settings. So most of our scholars are using, for me, I'll be honest, the amount of money that is given to each student to finish a PhD can run as little as $200,000 and as much as $700,000 in schools. So there's a huge investment made on each student. And 50% of students nationally do not finish their programs. So at least most of that money, or a good chunk of that money, is wasted, right? Because if that student doesn't finish, an institution cannot claim that person as a graduate. But more importantly is that person be able to use their skill set once they're a leader in that capacity. And so I delight in the fact that they don't only graduate, but they're all serving in one capacity or another. But we still need so many more, because you all know that the Hispanic community is one of the largest ethnic groups and also one of the youngest in the United States. I don't believe in the scenario that they put out there that we don't need, we gotta stop doing PhD studies, or that, there are no jobs out there for them. I think that the jobs are just not gonna be the same kind of jobs and opportunities that were once available to people. And one of the things that I really think that we need to be doing is more of these kind of conversations, because we constantly have so much more information available to us, and the generations that are coming are having even more information that they're being challenged by. And so we have to begin to think much more openly and train our brains, our minds to be much more educated, intellectually challenged. And by doing the same old thing that we did 20 or 30 years ago, we're not preparing leaders for the world that we're in now. Now, in terms of women, we've supported, I would say, just in terms of percentages, 67% male and 37% women, or 63% male, 37% women. I find that the younger generation women are learning to come into these programs with their voices already. Find that the generations, when I started with this program, we have more women, second career women, and also still struggling with their voice in this setting. For example, if one of my male students wanted something, they would just write an email and say, can I use my networking funds to do A, B, C, D? Whereas the women, I would have to go after them and say, what is it what is the struggle? What's the challenge? What's happening? How can we help you? That's not happening as much anymore. I'm starting to see that Latina women are more willing to say, this is what I'm being challenged by, and this is what I'm doing, and it's a great change. But I still have some that struggle with their voice, with that kind of agency, let's put it. So some of the things that I'm hearing here today from other ethnic groups, there's a lot of similarities, you know, and I think women, even myself as a director, I know I'm a visionary. I mean, I've been able to claim that now after so many years of going to therapy, to be honest with you. Right? For years, I didn't, you know, if we're gonna be honest, I'm gonna be honest. But that took years for me to get there, because I remember as a child, I was always very curious and very smart and not getting into trouble, right? And doing all those things, and also curious and learning. But I used to have stuttering. I used to stutter as a child, and even into my mid-20s, I was very quiet. And for me to even do this right now, it's not easy, you know, but I've learned to do it and do it better every time. And I also know what I'm doing, you know. But I think, I don't see that with some of the women that are coming up now. They have the agency, they have their voice, they're saying what they want and what they don't want, where they're making contributions, and it excites me. And it gives me, as much as I've given to HTI, I feel that every person that I've either, you know, like Michael, even though I haven't seen him in years, and others, I'm so proud of them. And I think they're doing amazing work, and they give me energy to continue to do the work that I do every single day.
Sometimes the family, the larger family, not just the immediate family, wonder why you do this.
Oh yeah.
Why?
All the
Why?
time.
You know, why do you need to get a PhD? Why do you need to get a master's?
My brother thought I was crazy because I was a vice president in banking before I decided to drop everything and go to seminary.
Wow.
Yes, you are.
And he was like, are you crazy? You're giving up that salary and everything to go to school? And I said, yes, I am, you know, but I was single at the time. You know, so my mother was still younger, and so, you know, I was able to make that big leap.
I think what you are doing is very necessary. I really appreciate. I'm keeping an eye on it.